Hello, computer application students. This is me, Miss Carol, recording a video from home for the first time. I am going to show you how to create a document in Adobe Illustrator, and also in this video I'm going to give you a quick brush tutorial. So when you open up Illustrator, you have this page. You're going to want to click New, and then let's title this. We're going to call it Brush Experiment, okay? Then if you go all the way down here, you'll see that I have pixels, and that's only because I had set it previously. But you'll see that you can size your document by points, picas, inches, millimeters, centimeters, and I want you to choose pixels. Now since we're going to be focusing on a logo, let's just make it a square. So 600 pixels by 600 pixels, okay? And we're good to go. So here we are. We have our 600 pixel by 600 pixel square, and I am going to add a layer up here. So now I have layer 1 and layer 2. And just to remind me, I'm going to title this layer background, and then I'm going to title this layer brush. Now just to show you, there are different ways of setting this, this layout up. So if I go up to the top right corner, it says layout. I'm actually in layout mode of the layout. But you can see if I hit essentials, this changes everything. And these are out because in a previous attempt I had them out. But this is what essentials looks like. So you have your color, you have color guide, color themes, etc. If you go to painting, this is what it looks like. So really it's up to you. No matter what, even if you decide that you want to move some things around and then oops, I lost it, or I'm going to come over here and then oops, I accidentally lost that. All you need to do is come up here, reset painting, and it's all back. So I'm actually going to keep it at painting because I just like the way that this looks. Now, over to our left is the toolbar. You have well, not most, but a lot of the same tools that are in Photoshop. You might recognize the selection tool, which if you look over to the right of that yellow bar, you will see that there's a V. That means that if you hit V, that's the shortcut for this tool. And then we have direct selection tool, magic wand, lasso, pen, curvature, type, line. This is shape. If I hold down this button, you'll see that there are many different options for these shapes. And if you see a little triangle in the bottom right corner of any of these buttons, that means there are more options for you underneath. So these tools down here and some of these are going to be new tools for you if you have not been in Illustrator. Right now I'm just going to show you brush. So we're just getting the paintbrush tool. And if you look over here, this is the color scheme that will be used right now. So the line should be white and the stroke should be black. Well, that was the opposite. Okay, so we have a black line right here. I'm going to make a couple other black lines. As you can see, after I'm done, this program kind of auto-corrects itself just a smidgen to correct for any possible bumping that may have occurred while you were creating this line. Now, if you go up to the top, you can see that you can adjust the stroke. So you'll see a 5-point stroke is much different than the 1-point stroke right here. By the way, the shortcut for brush is just B. And then you can see that there are these little lines, these little paths. You can move these around at your will. Now I am going to select everything here and just delete it. And silly me, I forgot to see whether I am actually on the right layer. So if I go down to my layers, that's interesting. Where did my layers go? Let me go back up to layout really quick. Here we go. I am on the brush layer, so that is good. All right, so now I am going to show you some other options for the paint brushes. If we look over here on this side, we should be able to find the brushes, but I don't see any little tool that signifies brushes. So what that means is it's just not apparent. If you want to, you can change it back to Essentials and then boop, there is your brushes tool. So you'll notice that there are many, many, many different types of brushes. For example, the mop brush will give you an aesthetic like so. We'll do the oval. The oval brush will give you that. But you can go up here and you can open up the brush library to get a bunch of different types of brushes. So I'm going to try some artistic ink brushes. Okay, so if you go over here, you can put it right up into here. And then I see, all right, here are some other options for myself. Now I'm going to grab this one. And now you can see what that looks like. Now you can also change the stroke. Whoa, that was crazy. So 40-point stroke, probably don't do that. But let's see what an 8-point stroke looks like. Pretty big. It's getting thinner, isn't it? We can also change the width. It's kind of harder to see with these artistic brushes because there's a little bit of randomness in here. Wow, this is so much fun. Anyway, so that is an option for you, and you are more than welcome to play around with that. Just so you know, you can add these to brushes. And they should have added right here, but I will check on that to see why they didn't. Let's just open the brush library one more time. Let's try a couple decorative brushes. So decorative banners and seals. If I go here, I can open this up a little bit more so it's easier to see. And this is looking pretty cool, so I'm going to use this brush. So we have this megaphone and then a banner, which I'm assuming is supposed to be used for some type of text. Or you can see we have this purple banner here, and notice that I'm kind of curving. Notice what happens to the banner. It follows the line, right? These are all really awesome options in Adobe Illustrator. Right now, I'm going to go to the Shape tool and click on Ellipse. Now, if you hold down Shift when you make this, then it will create a perfect circle. Whereas if I just kind of move it around, this is what will happen. Fortunately for this demonstration, it really does not matter. However, I am going to go to the Selection tool, select these to change the color really quick. So, okay, we'll make that a green, change the stroke, go over here, change that, and then I am going to bring these over. I want to change the color of this too. So this is going to be, on the inside it's going to be blue, on the outside it's going to be yellow. Change the stroke, do the same thing right here. This one will be green. I already did green. It probably doesn't matter. And then I like this light blue. That's pretty nice. And I am going to change, I'm going to change the stroke too. And also you'll notice that the stroke is different in this oval because of this aspect right here. So that is something that you can do to kind of give it just a different aesthetic. This is looking kind of groovy, isn't it? So there we go. Let's say we really, really like that. If we go over to our brushes, this button here allows us to create a new brush. And we'll call it, whatever, a pattern brush, okay? Oh, and excuse me, one thing I forgot to do. You have to select them first. And then new brush. And we'll call this a pattern brush, even so. Now you can see you can make these decisions if you want to add space in between them or stretch them, if you want to flip them, whatever. It's really up to you. I'm going to create it like that. So now you can see down here, pattern brush 1. Whoa. That is the new brush that you can create, or that I created. Now, whoop, that is the craziness that is my brush. If you change the stroke, it'll definitely look different. Kind of reminds me of a peacock, doesn't it? Pretty exciting. So anyway, this is just your short tutorial on brushes, seeing all of, well, some of the really interesting, cool things that you can do. I hope you learned a thing or two, and let's see you make a brush of your own.